guys, and welcome back to the Nicola Collective podcast with your host, Emilio.
And Olivia Nicola.
And we're going to talk about something very interesting, but let's address the fact that we're actually in a different spot right now. We're in Vancouver, Canada. So
Yep.
we actually took a trip all the way from LA to British Columbia. And no, we didn't fly. We actually drove however many thousands of miles that might be.
Yeah, it's been crazy because we went from California to Oregon, the coast of Oregon, then we went to Seattle and then Vancouver, and we had to cross the border. And that was interesting because it was basically like an interrogation into like everything in our lives. We were just like, we don't know what to say.
And the guy was like, these are necessary questions. I just have to ask him. But then like he proceeded to just go back into his like when he said that he was like kind of mellow. He was like, I just have these are necessary.
These are interesting questions.
And then he went back into like his like I gotta be a guard.
These are very questions that are necessary. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're gonna start with our topic today, which is something that a lot of people have been saying and talking about and questioning, I guess, and I think it's a misconception, but is AI demonic? And the answer to that is no. It's something where I think a lot of people like everything throughout history, it's like change, and a lot of people are not used to like new stuff. They always want to call it out for being bad, demonic, whatever you want to say.
It's like when people called rock and roll the devil's music because it was just the new stuff. It wasn't the classical, piano and other musical instruments. It was very rough, I guess, to the ears.
Which it's not true. Obviously, we use rock and roll even in worship music. Yeah. So, I mean, with AI, it's just kind of like you can either, like anything, it can be used for demonic purposes.
Anything can be abused.
But it is not demonic itself. It's just a tool that's there to help you in your business and help you utilize everything to the best of your ability.
Yeah, just to be clear, AI doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have a mind. And it doesn't make decisions on its own. So, like, the only thing that it does is listens to your prompts and generates something from it. So, yeah, it pulls information from different areas, but it doesn't have a mind of its own.
So, for instance, like in your business, you can use AI for things like automating tasks, writing emails, helping you with your blogs. There's a bunch of different things you can use AI for, like I know with us, we use AI all the time, like, ChatGPT prompts, things like that, just because it really helps us to do research, because there's this new feature on ChatGPT called deep research, and it takes like a lot of the time that we would have spent researching, and it just trims it down into like 10 minutes, which is a lot easier for us because obviously
now you don't have to do all the hunting.
Yeah, like obviously in our business, like we have to do a lot of research because people have certain audiences that they want to reach. They have certain niches that we may not in the beginning know a ton about, but have to understand before we can start to work with them and start to do their marketing for them to really get into the aspect of like, okay, now I'm going to try to reach these sorts of people, this audience. So it's really helpful for us to use that because now we're able to take, what would have taken us like 3 hours probably into like 10 minutes and then utilize it to help us to the best of our ability.
We just constantly observe the fact that there's a lot of people asking about AI, whether it's okay to use, whether it's wrong. And there's a handful of people that are claiming that it's demonic, it's the spirit of I, like AI, like spelled the same way. It's like, dude, there's so many different things that people are misinforming others about because they're afraid of the future. And now we're not trying to be these futurists. We're not trying to be these people who are like, oh, you need technology and we're going to become robots by the year whatever, or we're going to live till 200 years old because of technology. Like, we're not trying to say that. What we're saying is that you can utilize the tools that we're given.
Yeah.
We're in a time where we have a ton of technology that can ease a lot of the stress for businesses. It can ease a lot of the stress for doing research.
Yeah.
And just because it's unfamiliar to certain people doesn't mean it's demonic. It's almost like saying that because I don't know the person that's in the building behind me, that doesn't mean that they're demonic. It just means
Yeah.
that I don't
You
know
just
them.
don't know everything about it yet. And if you do the research to learn more about it, you'll be able to, or like look into it more, you'll be able to
Hmm.
understand that it's not something that's, it's just like anything. A little, like if you use it for the right things, it's okay.
Hmm.
If you use it for like things like, because I know there's people online, they're impersonating people with AI. They're taking
Yeah.
people's faces and then calling their families. They're taking people's faces and then calling their families and being like, hey, I need money or else I'm gonna get, kidnapped and blah blah blah. Or
Meanwhile,
I
they're
mean,
actually just chilling out
yeah, I'm
or eating a
like,
bag of Lay's.
yeah, so it's like stuff like that, obviously. That is of Satan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
But
action there
the
is demonic. The
action
action
there,
there is evil.
yeah, the
But
action there, but not the actual thing itself.
hmm
So it's like that's what we gotta realize is like, okay, it's not something like just like anything. Like you could like do
yeah,
something. I don't know. Give me an
you could
example.
you
Like
could take anything, and like the whole weird thing. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen like John Wick and other action movies, but it's like anything can be a weapon, right?
yeah,
Anything can be used
yeah,
like for I guess for good or evil. Like there's a lamp right next to me, and it's like
yeah,
yeah, that lamp provides light, but
yeah.
in the wrong hands, that thing can do a lot of damage
In
to
the wrong
somebody.
hands, someone could use that to kill somebody. Literally.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like you just gotta take it with like, okay, how can I use this to one help me in my business and
Hmm.
also not do anything wrong, but glorify God, you know what I mean? And like actually help me succeed, you
Yeah,
know?
and I wouldn't say like use it for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could utilize it to supplement certain things like
Yeah.
proofreading or
Yeah.
generating prompts, different things like you're trying like things that'll support you and not take care of you, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
You almost kind of like you want to think of it, it's like you kind of gotta sounds bad, but you kind of gotta get with it because it's like a lot of people in your industry, whatever industry you're in, it doesn't matter. You they're going to be using AI, and if you're not using AI, then you're going to be behind. And it's
Yeah.
like it's not going to be good. So it's like in a business standpoint, you have to be utilizing it because
Hmm.
it's not something where it's like, oh yeah, I can pick and choose whatever, or it's like an option of like, oh, I'll do this, but I won't do this. It's like AI is the like as smart as like what is it like the
As smart as the information that's being
no,
produced.
I know, but I'm saying how many humans put together like it's like a ton of humans put together,
And the reason
right?
why is because it's just an informationary collection. It's just
Yeah.
like it just extracts information from the internet.
Yeah.
It's not anything extremely special. Like if you're using like Grok or
Yeah.
ChatGPT or you or
Yeah.
whatever the other AI
Yeah.
engines are, answer engines, they're literally just using
AI.
articles that are
Yeah.
already out there
Articles. Yeah.
and they're putting it all together for you to understand.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's like someone writing you an essay on something. Like you go to let's say like you're writing a history paper. It's like you're the teacher
Yeah.
and you have students. It's
Yeah.
basically like having a student write the paper for you. Obviously, like the difference is that the student might not have all the information, but AI does have the information. And they can put it. AI can put it in a logical flow for you. The other thing too is that you have to prompt it constantly.
Yeah.
You can't just set it and forget it. You have to monitor it. So no, it's not going to replace you. You still have to
Yeah.
do stuff with it. So
Yeah.
it's still once again, it's not demonic. It's not taking things away. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
it'll like trim things down, trim the workload, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna remove the whole and like the entirety of the
Like
workforce.
honestly, I think we should be using AI in schools now because it's like that's the future of how
Hmm.
we're going to be doing things.
I would use it to tell me what research articles there are out there, what topics to look into,
Because
and
sometimes
then
you
I
get
could,
some crap ones, and you're
yeah,
just like,
and then I could dive into it. I can say
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I want to go further into this topic,
yeah,
and oh, I see that people were talking about this. What's the true history behind this? And
yeah,
you start finding articles on that.
yeah,
There's a lot of different ways to utilize AI, and a lot of ways to use it without being demonic, and there's
hmm
a lot of ways to use it while being demonic. Honestly, like
yeah.
there's like
Just like anything, there's good to it, and well, most of
The
everything.
absence
Yeah.
of good, right? So when people talk about like, oh well, if God created Satan and Satan's evil, then God's evil. It's like no, it's the fact that God doesn't or Satan doesn't have God in his presence, or he's not in God's presence anymore. So the absence of peace, the absence
Yeah.
of joy, the absence of good,
The absence of God.
the absence of God means the opposite is going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
it's like if you take the light and you turn it off, what happens? Darkness. What is it really? It's the absence of light. It's not
Yeah.
its own thing, it's just the absence of light.
Yeah.
What is cold? It's the absence of heat. What
Yeah.
is, you get the concept, right?
Yeah, I think honestly, like when it comes to this, it's like, are you gonna choose to, you know, do it in the sense of like are you gonna choose to use AI for the benefit of your stuff, maybe to help further the kingdom, whatever, or are you gonna choose not to use it and kind of just like bury your head in a pillow or face in a pillow and just be like
Yeah.
whatever? But the truth is like you gotta just like everything. Like some people are gonna use it for bad, and some people are gonna use it for good. So might as well be the people that are gonna use it for
Mm-hmm.
good and actually utilize it and have it in there
Yeah.
as something that's gonna help them. So
Mm-hmm. Well,
if you're a faith-based entrepreneur, you could use AI to, bring out like research some scriptures easily. AI, that's one thing that I've like noticed is like if I'm trying to look for something in the Bible, and I know obviously I need to go to the Bible like directly, but this makes it so much easier to find it in the Bible.
yeah, and it helps you break it down too. So it's
Yeah.
like, because obviously, like the YouVersion Bible app has its own form of search, right? So AI, that utilization of AI is basically just a search engine. It's like, where can I find this topic? Where can I find the fact that the Lord is my refuge? Where can I find the fact that,
Yeah.
whatever topic you're looking for,
Yeah.
it helps you break it down.
And it like in depth, like almost like a Bible study, breaks stuff down for you, which this is kind of like another topic, but it's just like there's so much like that you can find more like that you probably won't even have realized if you were just reading the Bible without any sort of like I guess like it's almost like giving you like a Bible study or someone to
Yeah.
like talk to
Well,
about it if you don't
any
have someone to
any
talk to
form of
about it.
theology, you should always look further into it.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does help with is that it gives you a general understanding of what the verse says, and it
Yeah.
helps you break it down in your mind. And if you have any doubt in your mind about what's going on, if you have any doubt in your heart that it's saying something wrong, you have the ability to dive deeper.
Yeah.
There's articles all over, and the reason why it's able to generate those things is because of the articles that are already on the internet.
Yeah.
And so it's putting them all together, or it's
Yeah.
putting things together based off of a general consensus. But what you can do is you can consult your pastors, you can consult leadership, you can look further into things and be well informed. And yeah, like you can
Yeah.
use that as your starting point, and then you can go further from it. It's a
Yeah.
tool, it's not an end all be all. So honestly, going back to the big part of the topic, the big phrase, is AI demonic? No, the enemy isn't AI, it's Satan.
Yeah.
And Satan wants to distract, he wants to deceive, he wants to manipulate, and he wants you away from God's presence. He doesn't want you with God in the end. He
Yeah.
wants you suffering with him,
Yeah.
you know? So, no, AI is not wrong, but the utilization that some people use is wrong. So,
Yeah.
we're just reiterating that point,
Yeah. And
because.
because I think like also like if people the lack of knowledge is like basically what makes people lose it when it comes to this stuff because they're just
Mhm.
like I don't really know much about this, but it just seems like it's demonic because a lot of people are saying that it is demonic or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like you just got to think about it for a second and look at the actual facts behind the situation. It's
Like,
like
have you ever? Okay, so I was in manufacturing for a while, and there's machines that pretty much like there are manual controls, but they're prompted. You set it up, you calculate it, and you run your machine, and it does all the stuff for you.
yeah.
Now, is it artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Debatable,
Yeah, it is.
but
That's
it's a
artificial
program.
intelligence.
AI is just a program. It's an algorithm. Once again,
Yeah.
so it's like sure, like it'll run itself essentially, so you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But or you still have to set it up. You still have to do things. There's a lot of forms. So am I going to say that that same machine that created a part is demonic? No, it created a part.
Yeah.
Am I going to say that the machine that gave me the answer to a question I was asking is demonic? No, because it's just giving me an answer to something I was questioning.
Yeah.
So it's really unfair for people to say that AI entirely is demonic.
Yeah.
It's really just the usage that people have.
Yeah. And I think we should go over some topics that are or some ways that people can utilize AI in their business and just kind of like make it known that like
Mm-hmm.
these are very useful ways to figure stuff out in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
So the first one that I would say you should use AI for is content writing support. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, if you if you want to get done with like if you want to write a script or if you want to write a blog or something like that's required, like if you want to write a script or if you want to write a like a, like an email, something like that, that's like very much needing the help of someone that sounds professional, or you want to make yourself
Mm-hmm.
present yourself in a way like you have all the information, like how I sound right now. I'm literally like I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say something and I know what I'm talking about, but I just can't get it out properly. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's literally what I mean. Like type it into ChatGPT or whatever you want to use, but we use ChatGPT a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But just say like, hey, I need help writing a script. Hey, I need help writing a script
My Instagram
for
video.
my Instagram video. Can you write me this like a 30-second script that's
Tell
about
me the shots that I need to
yeah,
take. Tell
tell
me
me the
the
shots I
tell
need
me
to
the
take,
lighting. Tell me,
tell me the lighting, tell me like what I need to do to make this better. And that's just it goes back to doing things in excellence. You know what I mean? It's like you can do things better with AI, like a lot better. Like we've been able to just use that to almost like we have really good information and we have like the emotional side to things and very much like our thoughts but that are our own, but then when you use AI it just almost just like makes it 10 times better for you.
it cleans it up for you because it takes the thoughts that you put into it and
Yeah.
it was like it answered it for you. You're like, I know
Yeah.
the question I want to say.
Yeah.
I know the answer I want to give, but I can't put it in words for people to comprehend clearly.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's like it just clears up the mess that lays before you that,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the next one that I would say that would be really good to use is for brainstorming product or service ideas that maybe you're missing out on or missing out on that maybe you're missing out on.
I think AI is perfect for brainstorming and understanding pain points, understanding people, understanding the topics that you need for your niche. Like it helps you break it down. So it's like instead of trying to figure out 1,000 different things, you could have AI generate something. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
stuttering. You could have it generate something like some form of list that you can go off of. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
like give me 10 different topics
Yeah.
that are in this niche,
Yeah.
and you could pick and choose. You could change it if you want to, and then you do your research from there, and you brainstorm and you figure out, okay, I see this topic, and you're utilizing it based off of you know however you prompt it. So you could say like,
Yeah.
what are 10 topics that people are talking about for this niche,
Yeah.
and you look at it and it's like, okay, the reason why I got this answer was because it's taking answers from search engines like Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo and it's putting them all together and it's like, okay, this is what we found. It's like it's still a search engine algorithm,
Yeah.
and it's like this is what we found. So if you were to look up articles about the Bible and
Yeah.
you find something from, the Way Church or you found something from like I don't know, just a couple of different places that'll
Yeah.
write articles anyway, you're gonna find that based off the search engines, based off of the relevance to the topic you're asking, and based off of the credibility that it has from based off of how many people are visiting.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same thing. It's just putting it all in one spot together, and it can generate it in a paragraph form. It can generate it in a list.
Yeah.
Just any way that you tell it to
Yeah.
go, it'll do it.
and also like SEO, stuff like that, hashtag research for your videos, whatever. Like you can use AI to
Mm,
figure out what people are searching in that that in that target audience,
yeah.
like whatever they're trying to search right now. Like at the time, that's really vital because it's like you're able to now you like go into the mind of your audience and be
Hmm.
like, hey, what do I want? Like, what do they want from, me?
Yeah.
And
And
like
it's not
answer their
replacing.
questions properly for them and then be the reliable
Mhm.
source on the internet for them to go to.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's still, once again, just to clarify, it's not replacing your job. It's a tool that you're utilizing to project from, to
hmm
propel from.
hmm
Um, so what's another?
Okay, this next one's really good, and we've utilized this in the past before, obviously. Like a lot of this our business had to do started out with like I guess you could say digital products. That's how we kind
Mm-hmm.
of got our footing on things, and we've even bought stuff, digital products, courses, whatever,
Yeah.
just to learn necessary skills that we wanted to learn. But the one of the things you can use AI for that makes things a lot easier is is creating digital products,
Yeah.
because now you have the ability to make money in the span of really short amount of time and actually sell something that people want. Like,
And before you sell it, make sure all the information is correct. It'll generate it fast
yeah,
for you, but it's up to you to make sure that you clarify that everything is valid, everything is what you want, everything aligns with what you're trying to do.
yeah,
So if you create a digital product based off of AI and you just use whatever it created and just go straight from there,
yeah,
that's on you if it's good or bad
yeah,
because you decided to release it without even
yeah,
looking at
yeah. But it basically will help you get all of the ideas that you want and put it into a, a format where a
it. Mm-hmm.
format where
Format.
format where you can uh, a format where you can sell it and act like a format where you can sell it and make extra a format where a format where you can sell it and make extra money.
Yeah, and it's also not only making money, but something that's valuable to people. You know, you
Yeah,
can make something that actually has value, something that actually has sustenance,
yeah, yeah,
substance.
yeah.
Yeah,
Format that's valuable to people.
yeah, yeah. And then another thing that we like to utilize AI for is just, well, I think we already talked about it, but emails, right? I like to use it for proofreading because I talk in a certain way and I'll type it somewhat how I talk.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll type it too formally, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, now I'm just walking the line of just being annoying with being formal. And so now I have to say, like, can you help me make this a little more personable? What key
Can you
elements can I?
humanize this for me?
Yeah,
That's
it's
my
like,
favorite one when we say, "Can you humanize this for me?" Because sometimes, like, we sound, or you actually, it's mainly you. You
yeah.
sound robotic
If
sometimes,
I write
so
an email, it'll sound way too like
technical,
technical.
and people don't
Yeah,
understand. Anyways, so yeah,
you
that's
have to
why.
make things easier
Yeah,
to understand. And
yeah.
so when it comes to me writing too formally or writing too, um, honestly, just annoying,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, unless you're in a corporate office where you have to do that, sure.
Yeah,
But we're not. We're dealing with real people. We're dealing with people who
yeah,
like personability.
yeah,
And so if I write it the way I normally would, like I would write an English essay, that's wrong.
yeah,
So a big thing that we have to remember is to keep it at a easier reading level,
yeah,
not for the fact that people are stupid, because people are smart. People have the
yeah.
ability to read at collegiate levels.
Just certain
It's
things
just
they don't understand, because that's obviously why they hired you, because they don't get it themselves, so they
mhm,
want to understand in layman's terms, like
exactly.
very simple beginner very
Why make it
simple beginner
complicated when
friendly
you don't
stuff.
have to?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a lot of times too when we do business, it's like Emilio's very technical, very smart. He really like knows how to like explain things, but like he explains things in a way that's very just like
As if you understood it.
Like, yeah, he's very technical, very smart, but he kind of like over explains things to the point where you're like, wait, now I'm confused. And then it's like, for
Because it's
me,
information overload. It's not the fact that
yeah,
it's not valid information. It's the fact that
yeah,
it can be information overload
yeah,
sometimes.
information
So what
overload.
I do is I can put all the ton of information and I can have it
Yeah,
condensed.
yeah.
If I need to do it fast, I'll just have it condensed on AI.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I'm very good at taking a topic and then explaining it to somebody and kind of just like making it more like beginner, like a not beginner, but just simpler for them to be able to grasp
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, relay that information to Emilio or whatever, or just kind of like it just works with that.
Yeah.
So it's easier for us to do things like that, but AI definitely helps us in either way. Like me, sound making it more, I guess you could say, uh, smarter or more technical, and then for Emilio, humanizing it and making it
Making
sound
it sound
more
less technical.
less technical. It just helps you wherever
It
your
gives you a good
strong
balance.
suits, or like wherever your weaknesses are. It
And at the
helps
end
you
of the
with that.
day, we still read through it and
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah.
And we tweak it after
Yeah.
because you shouldn't just set and forget it. You
Yeah.
should look into it because you could be misinforming or you could be saying the wrong thing or
Yeah.
it could be saying something the way you didn't want it to. So
Yeah.
you do have to still read it. And
Yeah.
once again, AI takes human interaction. It's not doing everything for you and it's not taking your job.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
Well, yeah, and just keep in mind, I know we said this already, but it's like if you don't do it, some other person is going to utilize it for their business and make their business that much stronger and better because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like for people who, you know, if they have clients or whatever and they want to utilize it for it, it's like just know everybody else is utilizing it in some way to make their stuff better and make it more professional, make
Mm-hmm.
it more informational, but also engaging and stuff. It's like you need to do that too. So you need to be utilizing it and making it so that you're
Yeah.
able to just, I guess, just get through whatever you just make it better, I guess. I don't know.
Just use a tool. It's a
Yeah, it's a
tool in
tool.
your
Yeah.
it's a tool in the cabinet,
Yeah.
you know.
But anyways, I mean that was pretty much the main things that we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
And we're going to be here in Vancouver for a bit. The great thing about our business is that we can work from our laptops. So we've just been kind of doing that, and we're going to
Yeah.
be here exploring today.
Yeah.
That was like very awkward. I'm like,
Well, that's
oh
the
my
end of the
gosh.
video.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll probably back next time you see us, we'll probably be back where we're at. But yeah. But anyway, so thank you for watching. And
Try that again.
okay, yeah. So anyways, so yeah, you want to end out the podcast?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is a great place to stop.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun and we're going to keep having fun. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. And
We're having a lot of fun. We're going to keep having fun.
I hope you enjoy Olivia's little like hand movements. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you later.
Okay. All right. Bye.